Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome back to The Mixing Glass, brought to you by Bardtenders. I'm your co-host, Michael Windsor. It's so good to be in your ear holes again. And once again, we've got another great episode for you, another great guest coming on tonight. But before we get into any of that, we have to bring on our general manager, our dungeon master, good old Johnny Dice himself, Mr. Jonathan Mateer. Jonathan, how are you doing
God
tonight,
damn
sir?
it. I told you, no Johnny Dice, we're not doing this. Get the hell out of here.
You know me well enough now to know if you tell me not to do it, it's definitely going to happen.
We're gonna stop letting our guests have any interactions with us before we start recording because the two of you together have already planted this seed, and I'm doomed for the rest of the episode.
Well, you don't like Johnny Dice? Come on, it's good.
It's not bad, and I'm upset that it's not bad, but we're gonna kill it at the end of this episode. Oh, Mike, I did hear though that we have a fun guest on the show, and I'm excited because we're gonna be talking about a product, a new thing that's kind of on the market that I love drinking myself at home. So I'm gonna turn it over to you. I feel like you know a little bit more about him.
Oh, exciting. Yeah, always love new stuff. But yeah, tonight we're going to be talking to Michael Toscano. And Michael is a Brooklyn-based sobriety. Let me cut that and restart that. Yeah, tonight we're going to be talking with Michael Toscano. And Michael is a Brooklyn-based sober hospitality and sales professional with extensive background in the world of craft cocktails. He's a former lead bartender for the 2019 50 Best #1 bar in the world, Dante. He worked as the NYC Woodford Reserve brand ambassador, a role he held when he began his sober journey and maintained through the first 2 years of his sobriety. He also helped reopen Frank Sinatra's iconic La Dolce Vita in Beverly Hills, where his LDV Gibson was named in Esquire's top 25 martinis in the U.S. for 2023. He's a dedicated husband, dog dad, brother, uncle, and friend, and he's currently the East Coast Regional Director for one of the fastest growing non-alcoholic spirits, the Pathfinder. Please welcome to the show, Michael Toscano.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hey,
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. This is we're gonna have a good time, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
It's gonna be a lot.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
super pumped. I'm super pumped to nerd out a little bit tonight. This is gonna be a lot of fun. But
I should have come up with a good Mikey something. I'll think of one by the end of the episode for you.
You don't need to do that. We don't.
Yeah, you're a monster. You're a monster. You've already got Johnny Dice. You don't need
Johnny Dice is good though, man. Johnny Dice is as an Italian, that makes you. I would feel like I should give you money if you're named Johnny Dice. Like
yeah, we can do it at the Frank Sinatra bar he used to work.
Yeah, that's right. You would have a table at the Dolce Vita.
Gibson. Okay, yeah. See, this is why I say we get off the rails so fast, and we have to jump right into roll for initiative because I know you have a 20-sided die over there ready to rock. You. So give that thing a spin.
Lucky number 10.
Lucky number 10, classic. Okay, this is a fun one. Number 10. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh no, this cannot be. I have so many, and I feel like I will get myself in so much trouble.
If you need to rant right now, you can rip off 1, 2, 3, whatever you need. Get it off your chest. Only a couple thousand people will listen to this. It's fine.
Man, I have so many. You have no idea. My wife and I talk about this all the time. I think living in New York, the easiest one that I could give you is people that walk slowly in the middle of the sidewalk. Like anywhere. I'm not saying you have to walk fast. I am saying pick a lane and commit to it versus making me walking like that. I mean, and that's not just tourists. I know everybody's on all the influencer people are talking about how it's tourists. It's not. It's New York. I've been that, you get on your phone, you're scrolling, you're texting, you get distracted. Just move to the side. Just move to the side and let the rest of us get where we got to go.
So all right, I got to follow up.
Yeah.
Which do you hate more? People that walk slow or the groups of people that walk like 3 or 4 wide and block the entire sidewalk?
Okay, this is a great question. So the reason my answer is the people that walk slow, and this is why this is my answer. When I was 15 years old, I had my first job ever, and I worked in a movie theater. And you work your way out of concession, you become an usher. That was like the best job you could have because you just clean the theaters with your friends, and then you just
find
like,
money underneath the seats.
You find all kinds of stuff. You just hung out. So one day I'm walking down the hallway. We're all walking down the hallway, and we're walking 4 wide, but we're all 15-year-old kids. We don't know what's going on. And a guest gentleman and his partner, he said some really shitty thing to us about like, oh, is this your job to walk whatever? And I turned around snarky as shit and thought he was joking. And I was like, yeah, man, that's actually what we're here for. And he's like, that's really cool. And it's like, oh, you're really mad. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. So all of that to say, I have a little bit of compassion for those people, because I think sometimes when you're with your friends, you could not even realize you're doing it, versus like, when you're walking slow because you can feel everyone else. So don't act like you don't know. So I think it's still walking slowly. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair. That's super fair.
I think about that experience every day, probably in New York. that Showplace 16, Southside Indianapolis, bow tie, driver cap, first job. Yep, for sure.
You feel better getting that off your chest?
So good. So good. We can talk about the real ones off the air that would get me in some trouble.
Yeah, we have to get you on anonymously. Mike, any pet peeves for you tonight?
Oh yeah, I've got a million of them too. I think I've shared some, but you know what? In keeping with this, because this happened recently, but it's not just walking slow, but people walking in airports. I recently had to fly to Baltimore, and usually I'm pretty polite, and I will I'll make myself known, but like we had 15 minutes to get 20 minutes away, through O'Hare. And I was kind of rude. I was like coming up, like on the escalator where people are staggered. So there's some on the left and some on the right, and they're just standing there and they're just glued to their phone. So you can't just walk up the escalator. So I'm like walking up behind people. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And like kind of being an asshole. I usually don't do that, but I don't know. I had one guy, I'm trucking, and he's kind of trucking in front of me too. And then all of a sudden he just stops dead in front of me. And I almost fall over the guy. And I yelled at him. I was like, what the hell, dude? Because I'm running. So it felt good. I kind of wanted to like actually bring like a GoPro next time, because I think people would enjoy watching someone be mildly rude to people doing that in the airport. And, to be fair, if you're going to pick a fight with anybody, like the airport is probably the right place to do it, because they don't have any weapons on them. So, the chance of like actual like serious bodily. I thought about it. I was like,
you have mapped it out. And also I saw something the other day. It was like, it's always fun. You go to the airport and you're just surrounded by people who it's their first day on Earth, because they just don't know how to operate inside an airport. And then the last thing I'll say on this, because we're off the rails, but I love it, is when you're walking by somebody in a tight space and they refuse to do the turn, the congenial, like they just want to, they shoulder check you, or like they hold their ground, and it's just like, I don't understand.
Especially us as like hospitality professionals, because we're so used to moving in spaces.
Decent, self-aware human beings. I saw a guy doing that, walking down the jetway, looking down his phone like this, not the jetway, but passing. And this dude like arm checked him because he was about to walk into him, and he just arm checked him. And the dude's like, "What?" He's like, "Get on your fucking side, man." Sorry, I don't feel better, John. I'm upset. Now I'm upset.
Oh man.
What about you,
listen,
John?
I had peeped a few episodes before I came on here. I had no idea this is what we're getting into. I'm really excited about the rest of this. This is exactly my space, and I'm very happy to be here.
All right, John.
Don't disappoint. Okay.
What about you? What gets under old Johnny Dice's skin?
It's
the last time. I won't do it again.
I'm just ignoring it. I'm embracing the chaos. I'm going to talk about people moving in spaces too, and it really gets me. It's grocery stores. I think I might have brought this up in the past, but the amount of people, like, you've been shopping at grocery stores, at least have been in them probably since you've been at least a year old in your life. So whether it's in a cart, pushing it, buying things, how does every single person, when they come out of an aisle, not slow down and look to see if anybody else is walking? You go at least once a week. If not once a week, every other week. And if you've been doing it for 30 years, there's nothing new. They haven't changed. Grocery stores are the same. Yeah. So why are we still doing it?
The answer is because they don't realize that other people exist, John.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I'm just really into looking
the
at these
stink
different
eye you
pasta
get
boxes.
too. It's that look they give you, like you're in there. Like, how dare you be walking as
How
they
dare.
roll their cart around the corner?
How dare you? If there's a grocery store, like someone who like works for any of these massive chains, you know, like the convex or concave mirrors that you have to go around corners, like in most like hotels and whatnot, and around tight corners in
hospitals and
buildings.
everything else. Yeah.
Install
Yeah.
those in the aisles at the end of the aisle so people can see people coming. It's a cheap
They
investment.
wouldn't use them. They still wouldn't use them. What are you talking about?
You're right. I know they wouldn't, but like if you own like 300 grocery stores, a bulk order is probably pretty cheap if you're going to put them in every store at the same time. Get after it.
If we ever sell into Kroger, I'll be sure to ask somebody at the headquarters.
Yeah, you're gonna
with
be
the
like, listen to
Pathfinder.
this pet peeve.
Yeah,
Mr.
I got a
Kroger."
question. Let's get down to business.
Right into brass tacks. You know what? I was here to pitch my awesome product, but now absolutely not. It's about the mirrors in the aisles.
I'm gonna hold my sales presentation. I have something else we need to discuss.
Yeah, listen here, sharks. Okay. We're not here to talk about how people move in spaces. We're here to talk about you, our guest on the show tonight. So we ask every guest who comes on the show, what's your origin story? How'd you start in the world of hospitality? How'd you get your foot in the door? What suckered you in and made you a professional for the rest of your life? What was that first job?
So, I mean, the first job was the movie theater, right? And I started in concession. So, like everybody else, so you gotta just. And I'm from the Midwest and the South. I was raised in the Air Force and my dad. So like as soon as I could work, like worker's permit, 15 years old, I was working. And so, and I learned really quickly how to upsell people into their popcorns or their drinks and all that. I just really enjoyed that stuff. And so,
okay, hold on. What's an upsell in a movie theater outside of an extra box of candy? Because they're already spending like $30 for a bag of popcorn.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do a large drink and a medium soda, why would you not just do the large combo for $2 more plus the side of Milk Duds? Like it becomes like that kind of like you start doing those kinds of things. Where you're like you're spending more money. You may as well just get the combo pack or like whatever. So, or the free refills on the large versus the medium and all that kind of stuff. Look, man, I could get right back into it. We could go right back to the
Hired.
I feel it.
I'm ready to go.
I was like, you know what? I do want to buy that. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and then it was like through high school and into college, I worked retail. You know, and I got my first restaurant job at an Olive Garden in Muncie, Indiana. When I went to Ball State, and I sold my way into that job because my last name's Toscano and the Zuppa Toscana was on the menu, right? At the best soup on the whole thing. And so I literally asked him at the end of the interview, I was like, what would stop me from getting this job? My name is already on the menu. And they were like, you're in. And that was it. So then I've been in this space for a long time. I graduated in 2005 from Ball State on a Sunday. Monday morning, I was training with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I was literally suit and tie, shave face. And this is back when you had to wear a suit, white shirts, no other color, no facial hair, in the management training program and like learning the business from the ground up. I did that.
You had some great training videos.
Man, the videos were. I have a very vivid memory of the first morning of work after, because you spend a week in the training center and then you go to your branch. And that first morning at 6:30, it's winter time, it's dark. I'm driving up behind the branch and I can see somebody out in the back, like in a trench, like in an overcoat in their suit, like scrubbing a car. And I was like, man, that sucks. That really sucks for that dude. And then within like 30 minutes, I was fucking back.
I was going to say, he went back inside.
That's the job. Yeah, you walk inside and you're like, wait, what? I have to do that?
The scrub's showing up for work.
Yeah. So I did that for a couple years. And then we opened an outside division called Fleet Management. And that division works with contractors. So imagine me, they hired 3 of us, 2 account executives, 1 account manager out of like a bunch of people that applied. So I got out of rental, got into this division and built it from literally, we had our first 3 weeks, we had an Excel sheet that we sold off of because we didn't have our computers up or anything. But imagine 25-year-old me with adult braces going into Joe's Roofers to talk to Joe, who owns the company, from his dad, and trying to convince them that I could help them manage their vehicles better. and giving me the keys to the, like, allowing us to handle acquisition and resale and upfit and all these things. And like, I did that for 4 years. And that was like, I cut my teeth on calling receptionists, because I would drive this loop in Indianapolis called 465. This is before phones could record. And you had a voice recorder in your car, and you would just drive the loop and get all of the construction trucks that were on the highway, go back to your office, find out the phone numbers or find out the CEO's number, and then just start calling the receptionist to try to get a meeting. And that was like trying to convince this person that I wasn't trying to rent a car, or, you know, to this, that I was a different division and all this stuff. It was wild, but it was like handwriting letters and sending these ridiculous mailers with like fresh lemons in them in these triangular boxes that said the last lemon you'll ever get from Enterprise, and like sending them with read receipts and deliver. Like, I just learned how to be ruthless in that space. And then I burn out, and then I went to work for Angie's List, and I did advertising sales on the phone, because you could, in Indianapolis, that's where Angie's List had launched, you could wear sweatpants to work, you could have a beard, you could drink beer, you just had to sell. So it was like
those first two, like the drink beer took a big turn for me. You know, like,
yeah, it was.
You know, you can dress comfortably, have a beer, you know, get drunk if you want. You know.
Yeah, it was the Wild West, but you could make a lot of money, and everybody in sales wanted to go there, so I went there. That lasted 6 months. I hated it. I moved to Georgia. I became a recruiter for Robert Half International with a temp agency. I came back after a year down there. Went back to Angie's List for 6 months. And then I looked around and I just hated my life. I hated the job. I hated the grind. I wasn't happy. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was a night owl. I have 2 younger brothers. One's an occupational therapist. One's a graphic designer. And I was like, we should open a bar. We should do that. We should get into this world. But I knew nothing about the bar world. So I had learned
the perfect soup to put on our menu.
The perfect soup. I had learned in my career you had to learn from the ground up. So I blew my life up, literally blew my complete life up. I was working part-time at a brewery called Sun King in Indianapolis in the growler room. I got a job canning beer in the morning with them from like 7 to 2. And then I answered a Facebook ad for a bar back. It was the most extensive application I've ever filled out in my life. Got the job as a bar back. So I was doing, 7 to 2 on the canning line, and then 3 to 2 bar backing. And I happened to get in at a cocktail bar. I knew nothing about that world. And I moved into being a server, into a bartender, into a bar manager, into a GM within that restaurant. Met my wife in Indianapolis. She's an industry veteran. And it became really clear that we weren't going to accomplish what we wanted to accomplish and grow if we didn't leave Indianapolis. No shade to Indianapolis. I love it. It's my home. But we wanted more. And so we ended up in New York. Fortunate enough, I got on at Dante. My wife got on at an incredible bar called Pouring Ribbons. And we just kind of grew from there.
Both very fantastic bars to work at.
Yeah. And just an incredible space. And then, I had an opportunity to go to Woodford. It took 2 of my careers, put them together, which was great because at that time I had about 10 years in each. So it was kind of a nice little blend. Sobriety happened, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit too. This is quite the story, but it's kind of crazy. This is the way my life works out. Life pushed us out of New York for a myriad of reasons. We landed in Los Angeles. We landed in great spaces. She ran the spare room at the Roosevelt. I did Frank Sinatra's spot in Beverly Hills. We hated LA. Some friends reached out, asked how we were doing. We said we hated it. They're like, we just renovated this apartment in Clinton Hill, this first floor brownstone with the backyard. Do you guys want it? And we're like, fuck yes.
I would love a brownstone.
Basically like ran back to New York. I was caught in a non-compete, which we can get into too a little bit if you want, with another company in the non-alc space for 2 years. That's why I was bartending in Los Angeles. That non-compete came up at the exact month that Pathfinder got distribution in New York. So I had met them throughout my life already. I knew about the brand, so I was able to slide right into the brand job in New York. And now here we are. History. Yeah, man, it's a lot, but it's a lot.
I'm gonna unpack some stuff here because you have an awesome story, and I think that one of the things that like sings true to me is every job that you've had along the way is just so much hospitality forward, right? From working with Enterprise and sending notes, a lost art, sending letters, like customized letters to people, and like taking the time to do that, to the amount of hospitality I know you did at Dante and all these other spaces, and just connecting with humans. I mean, think about the 20 minutes we spent on this show, just connecting, having a good time, laughing, right? Making our guests, like everybody laugh, the listeners, like I think that speaks volumes. You've also probably put on more miles than most guests on our show, going from coast to coast to coast with just a little tiny layover in the middle. That's crazy. That's such a winding journey to get to where you are. You did mention the Pathfinder, and I think we're going to get there, but I want to talk about sobriety first, because I think that that's an important journey to get to the non-alcoholic spirit we're going to talk about here towards the next half of the episode. So at what point, what was the moment that that kind of shift happened in your life?
Yeah. So I mean, it was a build, right? It was a slow build, slow burn, if you will. I don't have a crash out moment necessarily. I don't have like a floor or like a rock bottom, but I do have, I guess I would call it a bit of an awakening moment. So Tales of the Cocktail, 6 years ago, six plus years ago now. Not the actual week, right? Some people will tell you they got sober at Tales because they were just partying really hard, and Tales is crazy. If you don't know, Tales of the Cocktail is a trade show that happens every year in New Orleans in the summertime, and it's 10,000 plus bartenders, and it's huge parties, and it's educational. It's incredible.
Mike got to go for the first time.
Nice.
So this year, so that's pretty great.
Yep, New Orleans is a hell of a town. Yeah,
it's great. So I was with Woodford Reserve. I'd started with Woodford in like January, so I'd been with them for about 6 months at that point. And Woodford Reserve is a presenting brand for one of the awards at the Spirited Awards, and Dante was winning that award. So I was going to get to be on stage. Like I'd literally just left the company, you know what I mean? Like this is all of my coworkers and my friends and stuff. So I was going to be able to be on stage to hand them the trophy and share in that moment, awesome. which is incredible. Really so incredible. And I had just spent the day drinking like everybody else had done. And we got there, and some people were in our seats that we had paid for by sponsoring the award. We were supposed to be sitting at this specific space. Somebody was in it that they weren't going to move them. I got irate and just like overreacted, didn't make a scene, but definitely my people knew what was going on. And a buddy of mine, Alex Chen, he saw me, and we've been friends for a long time. And so he kind of pulled me aside and calmed me down, and I had to like run down to the green room. I wasn't going to make it. I made it on stage, but I was so fucked up that I remember it, but I don't, it wasn't a good space. And then you go into the green room afterwards, and there's a lot of alcohol because it's sponsored, right? There's all the brands are sponsored. There. Very little food, right? And at this point, my team is pissed at me because I'm too drunk anyway. The Dante people are doing their thing. I'm too intoxicated to hang out. So I ended up leaving. I went back to my apartment at like 8:00. Ordered a pizza, passed out before the pizza got there. Like that whole.
That's funny. I've ordered pizza to the event venue before as an attendee because I was so hungry there wasn't enough food. And I walked to my seat and sat down and ate a pizza with some friends. I know what you're not. I know.
Would have been the move. Would have been the move. And so the next morning I had to wake up and apologize to the team and this whole thing, and they were very gracious. But in that moment, it kind of hit me. I was like, man, I work for Woodford Reserve in New York City. Like I have got to be on top of my game. Like there is no excuse for this. And earlier in that week, I had run into somebody at an event who I knew from New York, but I couldn't remember their name. And I had just said, listen, I'm really sorry. This is on me. I do not remember your name. I'm so sorry. And they got offended, and they pulled up their phone, and they had just like 12 photos of us, like all out, like over the last year. Right. So it was just all those things culminated in like, I cannot do this. And so I went home, the next morning kind of woke up, told my wife, Brooke, said the words, I'm an alcoholic, which was like the hardest thing I've ever done. One of the hardest things I've ever done. And then, I just started thinking about all the time I've lost, truthfully, like the blackouts, the brownouts, the hangovers, trips I've taken. I got to go to Moscow with Dante, which was an incredible experience. And I remember on the flight thinking like, don't forget this. Like you have 9 days in a country you'll probably never go back to. And I have a handful of memories, but like, I squandered a lot of those trips in that way. And so it just, all those things kind of like crashed down on me. And I was like, I have to make a change. Yeah. And that's really what started it.
Cool.
Man, that's incredible. I mean, like, we all have those moments, right? Like, whether, you decide to make the shift to being fully sober, or you've seen friends or close ones or relatives or anybody with that. And like, to be able to talk about it openly is really, really impressive. And I think that it's so inspiring to other people, because there is probably somebody listening on the other end of this that is going through something similar and is ready to make that change. And having somebody talk about it is just so powerful. So thank you first for sharing.
Yeah.
Because I think that's just so important.
It's for me, it was like understanding, one, I have family that's in AA, right? So like, and I don't practice, I'm not in AA. I did it early on to give me some structure and some baseline, but like hospitality workers in AA, it's pretty tough because there's a lot of judgment for still being in the space. Ben's Friends is a really great industry focused one. But I have family that has it, so I've grown up in it. So I was always a little hesitant to that. But I just feel like, I don't even remember what the point I was going to make was. Now that I'm in this moment, but I do. Oh no, I know what it was. It's that alcohol isn't necessarily the problem, right? It's me, right? I am the problem. I am all gas, no brakes. When I start, there is no stop. There, I tried all the rules. I tried all of the no shots after 10, no hard liquor, only light beer. Like I tried all of that stuff. And I think so for me being able to talk about it, it's because like it's just like any other allergy to me at this point, right? It's my gluten, right? It's my vegan, it's my thing. So, and I also think once I realized that I wanted it all the time, like I want whiskey every day. I still want whiskey. Once I kind of accepted that, but that I can't have it, it really took a lot of pressure off because I wasn't white knuckling it. I was like, it's there, but you can't, you can't. So just don't, and there's lots of other stuff, but yeah, that's I could talk forever about this as much as I could pet peeve. Like
that's what we're here for. Because like I said, there's somebody else who's going through something very similar, and it's just so important. So as part of this journey, you landed with a non-alcoholic company, right? So let's talk a little bit about, what it is, how we got there, your first big moment with it, trying it, everything like that.
So my first big moment with the Pathfinder happened in Seattle, which is where it started, at the bar that it started at called Life on Mars, with the gentleman that really helped get the brand out into the world, our brand ambassador, Craig Ravinsky. I was in Seattle for Cocktail Week with another non-alc brand, and they were like, you should go check out Pathfinder and go see Craig at Life on Mars. Craig had just moved to New York, so there was like this crossover. So I had.
Do you have to keep traveling from coast to coast to work for this company?
sometimes, it's where the fish are. You got to go where the fish are. But it's been great for my status, right? So when Brooke and I take trips, the upgrades are nice. So we'll take that with all the traveling.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, so I got to know them, really early on in their conception. And I was a fan of it from the moment I had it, because for me, for not Fernet so much, but Jägermeister was a huge part of my life too. I'm in an international fraternity for Jägermeister. I have been to their facility. I have multiple Jägermeister tattoos on my body. Like I love Jägermeister and they love me, and it's great. So this was the first thing I had that one I could drink on its own. I didn't need to mix it. It held up. And it reminded me of like an Amaro or like a digestive. So I fell in love with it from that moment on. And then when I was in LA at La Dolce Vita, we did Punta Mes, welcome drinks for people when they first showed up. Everybody got a little nip of Punta Mes to kind of get the digestion going. And we were serving Pathfinder on my bar as like the non-alc option for people. So it was something that I carried in my bars when I got back behind the stick for a little bit as well. So I loved it for a long time.
I'll tell you what, I'll echo that too, because one, I love Amaros or Mari in general, right? This is probably the first non-alcoholic ingredient that I've tried that I genuinely enjoyed drinking by itself. which is crazy that we've come that far in the non-alcoholic space in a very short amount of time, right? Because we're thinking less than 10 years at this point since this category has really kind of blown up. So like, that's impressive.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, this is the coolest thing. I mean, and in my interview process with Pathfinder, I talked a lot about, like, if you think of any photo you've ever seen of a rock star or an artist with Jack Daniels in their hand or Jägermeister in their hand, you know, those iconic brands, if you take that bottle out and you put Pathfinder in the photo, it belongs just as much as the other two do in the photo. It looks like it goes there. And I think there's something just kind of badass and like rock and roll about that, in a way that I wanted to be a part of what this brand's doing. And
I hope that's a marketing strategy where you guys Photoshop the bottle.
That's pretty good, actually. We might be. I've got a few out there that we've been able to use. One was I tell, when I'm pitching it in the on-premise or to bars and restaurants, I tell people it's for net without regret.
That's good.
As a way to get people to figure out, like, because you start talking about like hemp and wormwood and gentian and saffron, and they just, like, the eyes roll back because they just don't know what's going on. And so for net without regret's a really good one. And then when I'm in retail, I tell people my goal is that your great Sunday doesn't turn into a shitty Monday.
Oh, that's
and that's what Pathfinder's for. And it's because everyone's had that, you know, the Monday scaries creep in Sunday night and you're just like already drunk. So at least I was. So helps me.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like I said, we've all been there at some point in our lives. Okay, so let's talk about it itself. You know, you mentioned some of the ingredients in there, but I think that, you know, one, the artwork on this bottle, I'm going to hold it up for anybody watching the video feed, but it's pretty awesome. You know, you got the big third eye on there, you know, like you're destroying bad vibes, literally. So like, talk a little bit about like that story behind the brand itself.
Yeah. So we're really fortunate, right? Our three founders, Chris Abbott, Guy Escombe, and Stephen Grass. Stephen Grass has a agency out of Philadelphia called Quaker City Mercantile, and they are the brains behind Hendrick's Gin, Sailor Jerry's, Monkey 47. He helped bring Guinness back into the forefront of our minds, and like they are brilliant. And so having them, you know, really driving our brand, right? We're taking a lot of inspiration from what we would call the golden age of cannabis, which is like the late 1800s, early 1900s, and frontierism, and there's mysticism and snake oil salesmen, and you know, there's Pete's Dragon was this crazy cartoon movie, like Disney thing from when I was a kid. Yeah, and there's the guy that like the guy that packs up and goes town to town in the wagon and like sells his wares. You know, we really did lean into that that iconography and that kind of satire, because we are still selling a non-alcoholic product in bars and restaurants. Like there is something funny about it, and we should really not take it too seriously. And so that I think is, you know, where the destroyer of bad vibes mantra comes in. That bottle talks about cold feet and Inuit and Malays. Our cans talk about humbuggery and screaming memes, and, you know, like we are very much having fun with it. And so so that's kind of the ethos of the brand. And then the spirit itself, you know, being born out of the Pacific Northwest, it doesn't take a lot to look around and see the flavors that are in Pathfinder are really predominantly, you know, found around the Pacific Northwest, right? One of our owners is in the cannabis space, so we know that product really well. We know that flavor profile really well, and they wanted to elicit that, and so we have cereal grain hemp seed is the base. So it's super important. There is some iconography on the bottle that would lead you to believe that there is THC or CBD in this product. There is not. There is not. It is. Think of like your breakfast cereal, hemp seeds, and your like that's what we're fermenting and distilling. So there is a true fermentation process. We're using a strand of slow yeast. So the distiller's beer, that macerated distillate, that's actually pretty low off that, and then it goes into a copper pot. There is a distillation process. And then throughout that process, there are herbs and botanicals integrated into the distillate, either as tinctures, terpenes in the still, you know, quite a bit of that going on. Everything is added. We are not taking anything out. which is why there's so much body, why there's so much flavor, why it stands up in a cocktail, why we want it mixed with, why it goes well with alcohol. So like what's left is this palatable, beautiful, bitter, herbal, sweet, aromatic, digestif, elixir, amaro, whatever. And I think what's really important too is we are not which the brand shows, we're not a health brand. We're not we're not going to be at your yoga retreat. We're not talking about wellness. There's organic organic cane sugar in the products, right? So like we're not afraid of sugar. You need it for flavor, you need it for body, so I think we're kind of,
and that's, you talk about cocktails too. There's sugar in cocktails. You can't have a well-balanced cocktail without some element of sugar. Alcohol in itself is sugar. If you've ever tried to stop drinking, your sugar cravings usually shoot through the roof with like ice cream and cookies and candy. Like it's just a real thing.
This is another pet peeve you've uncovered right now when it comes to consumer with people in the bars telling me they want a skinny margarita and they're down 2 ounces of agave, and I'm like, there's
I just make you a regular one and send it out.
Yeah.
Are you guys working on a skinny Pathfinder version?
You're gonna get the first bottle. We're gonna send the first bottle to
you. That's skinny Mike over there. Is that
skinny Mike? I'm afraid to drink it now. I don't know what he's gonna do to it.
Oh. That's fair. It'll be sealed. It'll happen in the warehouse.
Oh. No, okay, I definitely took us off the rails. I'm so sorry. But
no, it's good.
I think that too, like, talking about what you said, it has body to it. You don't take anything out. That's very noticeable because there's so many non-alcoholic, ingredients and, non-alcoholic spirits, right, that are very good, but they're very thin because there's no ethanol content to it. And whoever invents non-alcoholic ethanol is going to be a trillionaire. Like whoever can invent that is going to make so much money someday. So if you're out there and you're experimenting and you're great with chemistry, run with it.
I just said it. I said it to somebody at a trade show 2 weeks ago. If somebody can replicate at the weight and burn of ethanol, then the NA spirits will explode. For sure.
There might be a chance that they would supersede actual alcoholic beverages in some capacities, in some cities. Like it's real. Like it's a real thing. So I also know that you're not just creating the Pathfinder hemp and root, the Amari. So what else you guys are working on over there?
So we have 2 RTD cans out in the market today. So the first one we launched was the Pathfinder Negroni. They're 200 ml cans. The Negroni is essentially 2 servings in a can, 6 ounces, so 3 ounces per Negroni, and then the Pathfinder Spritz, which is our signature serve. What I think is really incredible about this is they're 2 very distinct applications. The Negroni is the star, in my opinion, because it's the only non-carbonated, non-alcoholic Negroni in the market. And it is a true 3-ingredient Negroni. So Pathfinder created a non-alcoholic gin and a non-alcoholic Campari variant that we will never release because that's not who we are. It's not our brand. That's cool, though. But we wanted to make sure that this was a true 3-ingredient Negroni. And it really hit me the first time I had it in a restaurant. And I was like, because it came on the big cube with the orange twist. It was still, it was cold. And I was like, this is next level, right? All credit to the ones that came before. I think there's a place for them. I tell people I think the carbonated Negronis are great for before the meal, and then our Negroni is great for during the meal. It's not we obviously want all the business, but like at the same time, there's room for everybody, and I think there's applications for everybody. And then the Spritz is our signature serve, which was lemon juice, ½ ounce of lemon juice, 2 ounces of Pathfinder, top of soda. That's been our move since we started. It's perfect. But we put it into a can with lemon oil. And so that is cracked out of the fridge to the face. There's videos of me on my Instagram shotgunning them. Like you can pour it over ice in a highball if you want. But those are great for the back porch, summertime, hot, whatever. But what's also incredible, what we tell everyone about these is they're spikeable. And we actually encourage it. Like take a drink out of your Spritz can, add a shot of whatever you want, right? Whiskey, mezcal, tequila, put it in the keep it pushing. Like take a road soda with you. Like it's fine. The Negronis float some whiskey, float some whiskey for a Boulevardier or gin or tequila, whatever. Like we want these things mixed with alcohol so that it's something for everybody can be executed out of those things.
And I think that's so true because before you give this awesome spoiler, we actually had the Pathfinder at our events at Tails this year. We worked with Chandler with her card game. Some of you are very familiar with her. She's been on the show a couple times. But we had it at all of our events because we had 10 events throughout the course of the week. And people were so excited to have a good non-alcoholic option at these events that wasn't either bad or THC focused, because sometimes you just want to drink something and not feel a buzz at all. That's an important thing. And some people were just drinking them and putting shots of whiskey in there, shots of tequila, and enjoying it right along with everybody else. So it's a really cool thing to see happen organically in a space without any additional advertising happening within that space. So pretty neat.
Yeah, I'll say 2 more things on that, and then I'll give the tease out. So 1, 2 ounces of whiskey, 3/4 ounces of us make an incredible old fashioned, and that's a foolproof old fashioned. That's still 2 ounces of booze, right? Because we're the Angostura, we're the simple syrup, and you actually get some more flavor out of us because we're more complex than Angostura. That's how I used to get people to drink Jägermeister at Dante, as I would make them 2 old fashions and slide some Jaeger in there instead of the Angostura and blow people's minds. It was a lot of fun. So that's first and foremost. And then I did this again where I had the thought and then I lost it. We'll get back to it. So the third and final RTD that's coming out, which should launch online, I think in late winter going into the new year, is a Pathfinder Espresso Tonic. So this is going to be a black and gold can. So we have a white can, a red can, and a black and gold can. We partnered with Vita Coffee. So there is 1 ounce of espresso, 50 milligrams of caffeine in each can, Pathfinder, and tonic water, which is absolutely incredible and just crushes. I've only had a couple of them, but that's another one that, if you're pre-shift, if you're going to into work or you need to pick me up and you want a little something extra, that's absolutely fantastic. So really excited for that. And then I did remember what I was going to say. So I try to balance when I talk about on-premise stuff, bars and restaurants, and then when I talk about your home, right? Because I think it's super important as a brand that's trying to kind of bridge the gap here. I think it's really cool. So especially as we head into the holidays. So I would imagine people are listening to the podcast, if they looked at their home bar right now, they probably have a bottle of something that they bought last year for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever for the friend that was coming to their house that didn't drink. And then they might have had a drink or 2 with it, and then it has sat and it's probably expired now because it's not shelf stable and you don't know what to do with it. And that's where I feel like we're really going to shine heading into this year. And what I would love to that last little bit of impression on our product is as much as we're a bottle on the back bar at a restaurant for everything in the program, we're also a bottle at your house for everything you're doing at your house. And we're shelf stable. You don't have to refrigerate it. It lives on the back bar. 12 months once it's opened, it won't expire. It'll just oxidize. But I think as you get into the holidays, that's a bottle you can have in your house that when your friend that doesn't drink leaves, you can still use it with what you're doing day to day and get the most use out of that purchase.
You can get a lot of use out of it. I made affogatos at work last night for people with it.
Yes, that's the move.
It was absolutely incredible. And I was I wasn't mad. I was I might have to have a second. This is so good.
Yeah. I love that.
It has so many more applications than just sipping it on the rocks or with some soda water and lemon juice, like you said, even though it's very good that way. I think that it's much more versatile, especially in the home of somebody who's not currently partaking in alcohol. So it's pretty sick. I'm hyped for the espresso tonic.
I like it. I like it.
Hell yeah. All right. We do have some final wrap-up questions for you. We're going to take a deep dive into some things. But the first question I have for you is going to be, what's your favorite shift that you've ever worked in the hospitality industry?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you 2 because I can't narrow them down. I'm gonna give you my first shift ever.
I'll allow it.
My first shift ever, Libertine Liquor Bar, which is unfortunately no longer in Indianapolis. Shotgun style building. They put me in the front well. right? Because somebody called out and they needed the body. I did not know our menu. I did not know how to make any of the drinks that were on the menu, but I knew how to entertain people and I knew how to engage with people. And I knew what a sour build was, which if you don't know what a sour build is, it's 2 ounces of spirit, 3/4 ounces of citrus, 3/4 ounces of sugar. And that can be anything, right? So that, whether it's a margarita, a Tommy's margarita, or a bee's knees, or a gold rush, like you just mix and match and you can create different cocktails. So I spent the entire shift just doing that. And people awesome. people thought I was the greatest bartender on the planet. And I was doing it because I did not know any of the other things that were on the menu. But I had the absolute best time of my life doing that. And I made a lot of people happy. And that was just an awesome experience. And that's when it was like I knew I was in the place I was supposed to be. So I was really excited about that. And then the second favorite shift that I have, a gentleman on a Tuesday night, same bar, walked in to Libertine, had just moved to Indianapolis from Baltimore. His name is Rob Green. And he sat at the bar and he ordered a cocktail called a spirit we didn't have. Because at this time, this is 2013, we had small batch everything. This was like the air of pretension, truthfully.
Yes.
And so he called a couple drinks and we just didn't have anything that he was asking for. And he just kind of looks up and he's like, I clearly don't know where I am, but it was storming outside. He's like, but I'm not going back on the rain. So like, talk to me. Like what's going on here? Educate me. He sat for 4 hours and we hung out. Awesome. That day, that shift turned into him walking me down the aisle at my wedding.
Oh, wow.
Like he became such an incredible part of my life and still is an incredible part of my life. He just had a kid and I got to meet him for the first time a couple months ago when I was in DC. And so like there's so many other incredible memories and stories and cool people I've met and all that. But like to your point earlier about my entire life is centered around hospitality, it really is. And that is the clearest example I can give of like how special our job is in this world, and how much of a privilege it is, because that didn't have to go that way, and I'm so grateful it did. And he's such a huge part of my life, and it's because of the shifts that I worked that day and that time we spent together. So I cherish it.
I love that. We like asking this question because there are like these common threads that we all have working in the industry that connect us all together. We've all had that one shift where we just make a couple cocktails that we know how to make because the new menu launched. And I'm sorry, I didn't study that shit. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't have time. Or you never know who's walking in your bar and sitting at your bar. It could be an amazing friend. It could be your future partner. It could be a new business partner. It could also be on the other side too, like an enemy or something that creates a story and changes your life for the positive. Like there's so many things that can happen, but they only exist in the world of hospitality. Like those interactions don't happen at banks. They don't happen at retail stores that often. Like it's just it's not the same kind of like serendipitous energy that happens in that space. Like it's such a cool thing.
I have this saying. I remind myself to treat them like Junebug. Junebug is my grandmother. And the idea is that if Junebug walked into my bar, like how would she be treated? And I need to make an effort to treat everyone that way. And so, and to your point, it doesn't always work like that, right? I had people come in late one night when Dante was in its heyday and we were closing and it was last call and they walked in. I was like, sorry, we closed, and they were pretty bummed. And they kind of walked out and I was like, go get them. Like you can make 2 more drinks, right? Like just go get them. They're clearly in here for a reason. So I went outside in the street and grabbed them and was like, come on in. Like I'll make you guys some drinks. And they sat down and had 2 vodka sodas and fought for an hour.
They fought?
It was, they were, it was like I ended up staying for an extra 30, 45 minutes, just like giving them the space to work out whatever they were going. But it was just like, this moment of like they ordered 2 vodka sodas, not even like our fancy one on the menu, just like 2
whatever was in the well.
Very much.
Tito's and vodka's hurt.
Just proceeded to fight, and I just was like, this is, you gotta laugh a little bit, there's both sides of it.
Yeah, it's cheaper than couples therapy at least.
But.
That's so funny. No, that's so true though. I don't think enough people go like. I say about doing the one more. Like I tell my staff this all the time. Like, what's the one more thing that you can do, right?
Yeah, that's great.
And it's bringing people back. You know, like we had it was like in the first month or two when we opened Death & Co. in Denver, and we had this group of like 8 people walk in at like 2:05, and they're like, "Oh, we like came the whole way across town. We want to do it." And like you have this moment where you look at the other bartender behind the bar with you. We're like, and so we went and grabbed like 2 extra brooms from the kitchen, and we said, 2 of you guys need to hold these brooms at all times because you're in a plate, but we'll make drinks for you. Just sit here because the staff can't get in trouble if you're having a shifty.
So
like,
good.
It's little things like that you do to like
God,
give people what they need.
I almost introduced you with if you can lean, you can clean, Johnny. But I'm glad it did cross my mind.
If you were my manager, I'd lean all the time, Mike.
They wouldn't give me that job.
Mike, I feel like you have a question that you want to ask Michael here too.
Well, God, I should probably contribute something to this podcast episode. We were chatting a little bit about Dungeons and Dragons before we started this episode. And you were saying that you are aware of it. You know, it's in your orbit, but it's never something that you've engaged with. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But you thought it might be fun to kind of talk a little bit from kind of like an outsider's perspective.
Yeah, I like I said, I listened to some episodes, so I was already thinking about like what would the name be. Like I don't even know. I'm completely green in this, and I have friends that do it. My brother-in-law does it, but I'm interested enough to hear about it and see maybe where I would find a place if I ever found my feet standing in a room with a D&D board on it.
Well, yeah, well, you could always see. There's really not a D&D board all the time. Just keeps coming out, you know.
Yeah, what a rookie!
At least I'm self-aware. I'm not trying to pretend like I am, you know.
No, it's good. I'm messing with you. You have mats and stuff too. Have you ever thought about if you were to play, what kind of character you would be interested in playing?
Yeah,
do you want to be like an elf, a dwarf, a human? Do you want to do magic? Do you want to smack stuff with swords? Like, what are you feeling?
No,
you've seen Lord of the Rings.
You smack stuff with like clubs and hammers. You cut.
Stick them with the pointy end. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Stick them with. That's good. Good. I love it. No, I mean, I think, you know, I loved like the Jon Snow character in Game of Thrones, like that ranger, that kind of like solo, just badass dude that's out there just trying to like do right by people. And like, I think that's probably. Which goes into my hospitality background maybe a little bit. I want to destroy bad vibes and be a nice person, but also fuck shit up if I need to. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, of course.
I actually have a jellyfish tattooed on my arm, and it's my spirit animal because it goes with the flow and it's not vindictive, but don't get in its way because it could be problematic. And that's kind of how I feel about.
It's a good motto
about me. So I think that's where I would live. I don't need to be part of a kingdom or tied to anything or anyone, but it would be nice to just go out and
hear me out.
Yeah.
And Mike, you tell me what you think. I think he needs to be a paladin, and instead of it being like a traditional god, because like paladins get their powers from gods because they're righteous energy, whatever. Your god is just good vibes, and you are whatever your character's name is, destroyer of bad vibes, like
destroyer of bad vibes.
And you like if you just walk down the street and you see somebody harshing someone's mellow, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna destroy these bad vibes.
Yeah. Yes.
Wait, I love that.
He could be the oath of the jellyfish, man.
Yeah, the jellyfish.
Oh, the jellyfish. I think a crest, some kind of crest situation with the jellyfish on it would look sick.
Yeah,
if you had a shield that had like jellyfish legs coming down.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's just like I mean, look at that thing.
Crafty.
Just like down the middle of the shield would be so good. Is in the paladin? That's just the name of the character, or is that the name? Like, could it be like the Pathfinder paladin?
The class.
It's a class.
Okay.
So you can be like a wizard, a sorcerer, a paladin, a fighter, a ranger, things like that. Yeah.
This is great. I have something to talk to my brother-in-law about now. You know what I mean?
And this is why I love talking D&D with bartenders in general, or people that work in hospitality, because we have so many stories and we've met so many people that we can like create these amazing ideas. Because when the bar's not slow, what do? We just shoot the shit with people that are either sitting there or our coworkers. We start spitballing and have a good time. I love that.
I love talking to people about what they like, especially people who've never played D&D, what kind of character they would want to play as, because somebody's first D&D character, it speaks a little bit to that person. And what's funny too is after somebody, if they get hooked and they play a lot of characters in D&D, then you end up with stuff like Dale Trishman's character, who's an artificer with a negative intelligence score, which is very counterintuitive and not beneficial for that class. So they get weirder as time goes on, for sure.
Yeah, the more you play, the more esoteric your characters become.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
We're just gonna pretend like I understood what you just said, because I think it sounds
That's
perfect.
perfect.
I have no idea what just happened.
I know. To be fair, that was happening to me this episode a little bit. So, right back at you. It's all right. We'll get into
I feel like that doesn't bode well for the listeners. If you were
No. Let me clarify. This happens with John because I do not have the background in the spirit world like John does. So he can speak to all of our guests that come on and talk about this stuff. I pick up key words and everything, but some of the stuff, it definitely is. It's harder for me to follow than John, which is why. We'll get to it. I think we have a review coming up here pretty soon that'll explain it better than I can right now, to be fair.
Oh, no. God, that's so good. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it so much. Michael, thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing your story, talking a little bit about the Pathfinder, and nerding out with us a little bit at the end of the episode. I love that so much.
Appreciate it. Yep.
I'm happy to do it.
We like to do some shout outs at the end of the episode. So we throw it to you first. Where can people find you, the Pathfinder, anything you're excited about, great restaurants, hit us with it.
Yeah. So my Instagram's really difficult. It's my name with the in front of it. So Michael Toscano. And before I go any further, if there is anybody listening that is going through some shit or is struggling or doesn't know what's going on, like the DMs are open. You can absolutely go in there. My email is matoscano9@gmail. So you can hit me there as well. If the DMs get, I don't get back to you there fast enough, but like I'm 100% available at any time to anybody that's struggling. So don't ever hesitate to reach out on that piece. From the Pathfinder standpoint, drinkthepathfinder.com. We actually literally just launched our merch store about 5 hours ago. So there's some good gear up there. There'll be more to come. So that's absolutely a place you should go check out. As far as shout outs for like bars and restaurants, if you're in New York City and you don't go to Milady's and see my wife, Brooke, you are dead to me. So let me be very clear on that. No, but that is an incredible space. But then there's also Romeo's in the East Village. My buddy Evan's bar is an absolute blast. Katana Kitten, you can't miss Katana Kitten and go see Masa and the crew there. We've got a non-alcoholic Boilermaker on the menu with a Good Time IPA, which you can then add a real beer to and make it a low proof Boilermaker. And they did like a health shot with Pathfinder and ginger and pineapple, and it comes in this cute little glass jar with the Pathfinder sticker on it, and you can take that with you, which is really cool.
Good.
So you can't go wrong there either. I feel like I should call out a Brooklyn spot. Clover Club. You can't go wrong at Clover Club. They just launched an incredible. There's a Tapache cocktail with Pathfinder on it right now that they just launched.
Oh, stop! That sounds so good.
It's so good. The Brussels.
I can't even drink pineapple because I'm allergic to it, and I would crush that.
You're allergic to everything, John.
Yeah, it's your bullshit, Mike.
Old Johnny allergies up in here.
Johnny allergies.
Keep them coming. Damn it.
It's funny. I know we're getting tight, but like we talked about Mikey and Johnny on before this call. Nobody really knows that, but that's how my wife knows when people come around that aren't really from my that don't actually know me, because in college for whatever reason I had 4 different groups of friends because I moved dorms every year, but for whatever reason Mikey T was my nickname every year. I never asked for it. It's not what I want. But so when people came around the bars when we worked together in Indy and they asked if Mikey T was around, that's how she knew that they actually didn't know me anymore, because it had been 10 years since they had seen me. That's the dead tell for her, that she knows that they're old friends or people.
Well, we did old Johnny Dice. You could be Mikey Manowar,
Ooh, that's a good one.
Like the jellyfish.
That's a good one.
Pretty good.
That's a good one. I like it. That's really good.
That's the next tattoo. Watch out.
Right across the collarbone. Just the name.
Yeah, no,
Finally-
no,
finally
no
embrace
regrets.
Yeah, in reverse. So
Yeah.
only I can read it. So good.
Oh, Mike, any shout outs for you tonight?
Yeah, no, honestly, Michael, I really appreciate you sharing that. It's like you said, it's it's like your allergy to where it's it's comfortable for you to talk about it, but when people are first starting out on that path, it is difficult, and having that first conversation can be the hardest first step. So I want to shout out SAMHSA, SAMHSA's National Helpline. It's 24/7, 365 days a year. It's completely confidential, but you can call and they will direct you to local help centers or helplines. So if you are looking to make that first step and you need a third party to reach out to, somebody that doesn't know you, that's not going to judge, whatever, you can always call them and start that first step of the journey if you have to.
Yeah, that's a great resource, Mike. I have a shout out, and it is for my favorite podcast.
What's that?
Probably listening to it or watching it right now. It's called Bardtenders. You can check us out at Bardtenders on all social media. Head to our website at www.bardtender.com. We do have amazing resources for mental health and wellness there too. All of them are 100% for free. Ben's Friends, you mentioned in the episode, is on there. Go check them out. The Burnt Chef Project. There's so many other amazing things for you to get in touch and find help, or just find people to talk to about anything going on. You can also connect with us at contact@bardtender.com or slide into our DMs. We love doing cool shit with cool people. And we want to keep doing cool shit with cool people. So we want to hear from you, and we want to work with you too. And last but certainly not least, Mike, what do I love?
I think you love 5-star reviews.
I do love 5-star reviews. So if you leave a 5-star review,
5 stars only.
That's right. We will read your comment live in an episode, but we will only read it if you roast us as you leave that 5-star review. What do you say, Mike? We want to hear your
what your best worst review? What your worst?
Your worst?
We want to hear your worst best review. Your worst best 5-star review. I can't remember.
We want to hear it, and we do have one for all of you listeners right now.
To be fair, I didn't see any pictures that they showed that they left us 5 stars. I guess we're just gonna believe it.
I did. I got them. They texted them to me.
I don't believe you.
Because this one comes from Danny Posey. He says,
that?
"Love this show. I still don't know why Mike is here. He's not in the industry and is neither a bard, in parentheses, entertaining, or tender, nice. Although I guess he can be a bit soft sometimes."
It's normally I'd want to come at Danny with a lot, but I was basically a laugh track this episode. So you know what, Danny, sometimes I have to agree with you, and I'll get you back when I see you again there, buddy.
Depot bringing the heat.
Oh, that was so good. So yeah, roast us. Leave us 5 stars.
Yeah, are you not going to read my response to him on Spotify?
No, absolutely not.
All right, whatever.
It was actually pretty good. I hearted it.
Okay, thanks.
Truly, again, Michael, thank you for coming on the show. We truly
Yo,
appreciate
thanks.
it. Thank you for
This
sharing.
was
It's
awesome.
great meeting you, man.
This is great to meet you too, Michael. This was I had a ton of fun. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, I've been fortunate to do a few. This was by far the most fun I've ever had. So thank you very much for having me. This was incredible.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you brought the heat, man. So, and yeah, good luck with Pathfinder and everything, man. It sounds like you guys got some really cool stuff going on. I'm definitely going to check out the merch because I like the branding a lot.
Well, you let me know. Give me your addresses offline. I'll send you guys some stuff.
Look at that, people.
Yeah,
That's what
come
you
on
get
now.
for running a podcast, baby.
That's it. That's it.
I want that Pathfinder Ouija board. Okay.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't. You don't. Mine showed up and it hasn't left my storage unit. I just touched it. I was like, no, this is a little too much for me. It's a little too close to the sun. A little too close to the sun.
Stop opening up those red doors, man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's clock out. Let's get the hell out of here. We'll see you all next time. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get out of here.